Hello everyone, welcome back. This is going to be an update for June, and I gotta get it started quickly because there is quite a bit going on. I'm going to start with Cattleya that I don't usually show you because it's usually not doing very much. But this is the Cattleya that when I got it, it had very few roots left, and it's so big it's taken a really long time to recover. But as you can see, the latest growths have not been as big as the other ones, but I've got a good sized one coming out here, and it does have a sheath on it, so I'm hoping that one will bloom because it has beautiful large red flowers that are very fragrant, so really looking forward to seeing what that one will do. Beside it, I have a Catasetum Karen Armstrong that's growing nicely, and it does have a spike down there. The flowers do not last very long, but they're really, really nice. Those are the ones with the triggers. Catasetums have triggers that will shoot pollen onto your fingers. They're pretty funny. My Bulbophyllum Benengiki is okay. It's growing very all over the place. I have this like little makeshift humidifier thing going on down here. I tried to put some plastic wrap over it, but it was getting moldy, so I'm just leaving the top open right now, but it does have some roots, as you can see down there in the newest growth. And actually this is the newest growth, and it has some more roots coming out there. I would love to see this one bloom. It has enormous pinwheels of flowers. It's really nice. I've remounted a bunch of my orchids onto some tree fern fiber because I just had it on hand. I never really used it before, but an orchid that I got recently seemed to be doing well, so I did mount a few of these onto this stuff. This one is the Leptodes bicolor. It's doing a lot better actually. It's got 2 new growths coming out there. I did have to cut off I guess leaf slash bulb because it was rotten, and I do have some cinnamon down there. But the other ones are coming out nicely, and hopefully this one has more air going through it, so it will not rot like the last one did. I have my Angrecum Magdalene seedling right here, still doing great, growing nicely. I wanted to show you this guy when it was in full bloom, but it didn't last. But it still looks okay. This is one of the bubblegum paths that I have. Got some dendrobiums over there. As you can see, the one in the little container I have mounted onto the tree fern fiber as well. They're all doing okay. Oh, this is the Kylokista I wanted to show you guys in bloom. I'm going to be making a video on it. This is the Kylokista viridiflava that I got from the last orchid show I went to. It's got 5 spikes out that are all in bloom, and this one has a really nice smell to it that really smells different every time I smell it. At first I thought it smelled like lemon, and now it has more of a florally scent to it, but really, really pretty. Again, I'm going to make another video just on this orchid. Still got my Vanda over there in bloom. It's lost 1 flower, but it's lasted a very long time. I got my, what are you? Rhynchostylus, and it is growing another leaf, which is nice. I have had to move a lot of orchids around. As you can see right there, that's where I usually have my Maxillaria tenuifolia, but it is outside on the balcony enjoying the sunlight right now. And I've got some other smaller orchids taking advantage of the high sunlight right now. And don't really show you this one very often. This is my Schomburgkia seedling. If I can ever find a full-size Schomburgkia, I'm really looking forward to getting one because Schomburgkias are my favorites. Well, Schomburgkias and Kylokistas, I think now. Not too much going on in my mini greenhouse right now because I have moved a lot of them over to the higher light of the windowsill, but there are still some guys in here. There's my Mormalaika ringens. You can kind of see the tag right there. I haven't really shown you this orchid. I got it less than a month ago, I think, and it has a really nice bulbophyllum-like flower to it. Obviously not in bloom right now, but it's got 3 growths coming out of it. It's kind of hard to see. There's one right down there, but yeah, there's 3 of them, and it's looking good. Maxillaria variabilis, that was in bloom a little while ago, is all done. I need to water that one. It's watering day today. Here is the Phalaenopsis tetraspis. All the flowers are gone. They don't last a very long time, but it's doing a good job of growing new spikes, and it's got a new leaf coming out there, which is great. It's a really nice orchid. That's the one that won the first place ribbon when it was in bloom at the last orchid show. This one has been moved over from my middle room. It's got a nice growth coming out, and it's got some little roots poking out at the bottom there. Not really sure what this one is. I think I lost the tag, but I think it's like something like a Cattleya or Epidendrum or something like that. And another one that I really need to water is my Bulbophyllum medusae. It has a nice new growth. You can see the leaf coming out of the top right there. So that one's looking okay. I think I need to repot it into a more water retentive container. I'm just gonna put it in like a regular clear pot because too much air gets to it. I can't keep it as moist as I should, and bulbophyllums usually require more humidity and moisture than other orchids. And over here, this is the Otara orchid that I believe I showed you before. It's got a nice new leaf coming out here and some new roots. And this is the Coleogene that a lot of you might remember. I used to think it was a Coleogene cristata, but it's not. And it also has some new growths starting to mature. It's got one right there and one right here. So they're looking good. And there's Mr. Maxillaria tenuifolia sitting out there enjoying the sun. It didn't bloom this year, at least it hasn't yet. It usually blooms in May, but it didn't. I think it either didn't get enough light, which hence why I have it outside right now, or it just didn't like its repotting. So it's still doing okay, and I expect it to bloom next year. Over here in the middle window, I have this new greenhouse contraption. I got it about a week ago, and it's got, you can kind of tell on there, it's got a humidity and temperature gauge, so that's really handy. So it's at 80 degrees Fahrenheit and 60% humidity right now. When it does get too bright in this window and it starts getting really humid and really hot in here, I do put like a little computer fan up here, and it keeps it cooled down better because you don't want to cook your orchids in there. But I have a Bulbophyllum bicolor and a Bulbophyllum lepidum in there, and I also stuck in a Chylokista exuperi and another Chylokista verdiflava over there. And it might just be growing season for them, but I have a feeling it's because of the extra humidity. They have started growing some new roots, which is great because roots are so important to Chylokistas because that's basically all they're made up of. They have no leaves. Also, like as you can see on the Bulbophyllum lepidum right there, it's got some aerial roots that probably really appreciate the extra humidity. So far the little mini greenhouse is doing its job. I also have this little, like, what I think is like a shade cloth if it does get too sunny in here. But all of those orchids are okay in highlight. Up here, this is exciting. My Neostylus Lucneri, I don't really show it to you very often because it doesn't really do very much. I looked at it the other day and I was like, geez, when is this thing going to spike? Like, I've had it for so long and it hasn't spiked. And I saw online everybody's Neostylus Lucneri was spiking. And then I saw a spike. And as you can see, it's starting to bloom right now. So I think this is supposed to be a Neostylus Lucneri bluebird, and you can kind of see it has kind of a purplish blue tint to it, but not as much as some other variations I've seen. And it's got the one spike right here, obviously the older spike, and it's got a little secondary spike right there. And these smell absolutely fantastic. A really nice sweet scent. It's very similar to the Oncidium Sherry Baby, except not as strong, but still a really nice scent. And I'm so happy that this finally bloomed. I was getting sick of it, and it has now paid its way. So when that one is in full bloom, I will probably make a video on it. And it's hanging up there from my Vanda Brunea, which isn't really doing very much, but I have just recently repotted it into that basket. So it's getting more water now because I can soak it with the other Vandas. So hopefully that helps it. And here, yes, I have my Millennium Magic Witchcraft that I just recently made a video on. Let it get in focus right there. And it's starting to bloom. It's got 1, 2, and 3 spikes. And I'm sure I'll make a video in a day or two when it's in full bloom. I'm so happy when this one blooms, and it just gets better every year. More blooms every year. I haven't bothered counting it yet, but I will obviously, as I've said, make a video on it. I've got another Vanda up there. It does have what I think is a spike. It's growing very slowly and it's too high up to be a root. But once it gets a little more prominent, I will show you. That is supposed to be like a purplish blue, like a dark purplish blue orchid, like flower. So really looking forward to that. And over here, this one is what I thought was a Cattleya. I thought it was the Purple Cascade, but it's not. Danny actually corrected me. I forget what the actual name of it is, but it's got a new growth and it's got a sheath in the middle there. So hoping for some more flowers. And in the last window over here, I have some familiar orchids. This one is the Cochleanthes amazonica. And this is what happens when you don't keep it hydrated enough, because it doesn't have pseudobulbs. So you gotta remember to make sure that it stays moist. Because if you don't, it'll get these accordion leaves. So this is my fault. Very much my fault. But I think I should move that to another window because this one that we're in right now is the farthest away from my watering area. So yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe I should move it closer just so I remember to water it more often. But you can see this is the one that had all the flowers. It's still got the spikes over there. This is the Embrea rhodogasiana, and it's growing. That can't be a new spike. This has got to be a new growth. But it's growing really well. Like, this is similar to a Gongora or a Stanhopea orchid, except when it blooms, it just has one flower, but it's enormous. So I would love to see that. Hopefully it'll bloom sometime soon. This is a Silogeny. Oh, what is it? A Silogeny. Maybe I have the tag right here. Yes, I do. It's a Silogeny salmonicolor crossed with Silogeny ustana. And it blooms before the bulb is mature. And as you can see right at the tip of my finger right there, it's got a new bulb coming out. So I expect blooms soon from that one. That one really likes its moisture, so I have it in a bigger pot. Over here I have my ever faithful Polystachya orchid. And this is the one that smells like honeysuckle. Let me show you a little bit closer here. There we go. It looks like an upside down helmet. Polystachya gileada, that's what it is. And this one is an African orchid, and it's really hardy. It's again, since it's in this window, I tend to forget to water it a lot, and it just keeps rewarding me with flowers. This is my Lycaste orchid, and I'm kind of concerned about these marks on the leaves. I'm hoping that's not what the Listerine orchid I mentioned a while back had on its leaves, but I'm keeping an eye on it. I've got 2 paths right here. They're doing actually really well, better than before. They're both growing new leaves and hopefully will bloom soon. I've had this one for such a long time. I would really like to see that one bloom again. I think it's got like a whitish green flower. And this one is my... This is what happens when I forget to put my tags back in my orchids. This one is the Golden Satisfaction one, and it's got a new growth starting to mature right there. And I've got some more cattleyas up there that need watering. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you want to see any more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks. Bye.